Okay, baking with Holly. 3, 2, 1. Hey everyone, and welcome back to Baking with Holly. I'm in a completely different kitchen today. So we are actually in my bakery, Punk Rock Pastries. So we've moved the filming location here, one, because it's more fun and I get to hang out with Skelly here. So let's get to it. So have you ever wondered what to do with those cake scraps? You know, the ones that you've got that are left over from cakes, or the cakes that don't come out of the oven right? Well, I've got a solution for you. Now with St. Patrick's Day coming up, you want a dessert that's really fun, that's going to impress your friends, your family, whatever, or it's going to fool a few people. So today we're making potatoes. Yes, you heard me right. We're making potatoes. And I don't just mean potatoes, I mean cake potatoes. So cake pop potatoes, potato cake, cakes. We're making potatoes. So you're going to need a few things for this. You're going to need a cake, roughly any size, cake scraps, whatever you've got. You're going to need some buttercream. I recommend a Swiss meringue buttercream. You're going to need a big bowl to do this all in. Some Oreo crumbs, so just smash them all up. Some fondant, and then you're going to need some tools. So you're going to need some colorings, some water, a sponge. I know, weird, right? And then you're going to need a rolling pin. Okay, let's get started. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to grab my crappy cake. Now this cake has seen better days, but we kept this cake, but it stuck to the pan. It's seen better days. So we're going to break it up even more. So I'm going to crumble this into the bowl, and I'm going to make a heap of mess because that's what I do. It's super fun. So now if you get, so I'm crumbling this up into the bowl, and if you don't want to use your hands, you can put it in a mixer. I recommend using your hands more because you'll get a better texture out of it. You might just get a big lump of cake. So I'm going to squish my cake up into tiny little pieces, and I really don't want any lumps bigger than a pea. Yeah, a pea. We really want to make this into a fine crumb. So just keep going. Okay, now that my mix is pretty much a crumble base, I'm going to add buttercream. So I have a big chunk here. Now there's no real measurements of how to do this. So I'm just going to get a nice big, I'm going to do that. So I'm going to put it in the bowl. Now, if you're like me and you don't really like the texture, we're going to wear gloves. I don't know, just that squishy feeling between your fingers. Okay, let's do this. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to massage that buttercream into the cake. So pretty much we're making a cake pop, or in some terms, cake clay. So we're going to mix it around until there is no crumbs. Now, it wouldn't be a St. Patrick's Day treat if it didn't have a little bit of alcohol in it. So we're going to add some whiskey. I would have added Guinness, but I don't have any. So I've added a little bit of that in. I'm going to put on another glove. And then I'm going to mix it in again. Now your cake pop mix should be able to hold a ball. So once you've mixed that all in, you want to grab a whole handful of it. And you want to make a potato shape. So I'm going to put these on a plate in the fridge and let them set for around an hour. Okay, so while our potatoes are in the fridge resting, we're gonna get our fondant ready. Now you can get fondant at pretty much if you go to your local bakery and ask to buy some. It's up to you. But you can get it if you're in Canada. You can get it from Michael's, or they might from the States too. You can pretty much get it online. You can get it anywhere. So I'm gonna just knead the fondant down to make it a little bit softer. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna roll our fondant out, bring our potatoes back, and then cover them. So to roll the fondant out, we're gonna take a little bit of cornstarch and just dust the mat like that. I'm gonna put this down, and I'm actually gonna put cornstarch on my rolling pin too. Now I wanna roll it out, so it's about, I'm gonna say 5 mil thick. So you want it quite thin, but you don't want it too thin that when you're going to put it over your, you don't want it too thin. So if you're going to put it over your potatoes, that it rips. So that's looking pretty good. Roll it out a little bit more, like that. Now I'm going to go get my potato and bring them back. Okay, so my potatoes have been in the fridge for around an hour now, so they've gotten pretty firm. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick up my fondant like so. I'm going to put my potato down. I'm going to drape my fondant over the top of my potato, and then I'm just going to use my hands like a cupping motion, and I'm going to push down and around. Just like that. Now I'm going to take an X-Acto. You don't really want to use your X-Acto on your silicon mat if you have one, mostly because you probably cut it. This is an old one that already has holes in it, so I don't really care. So I'm going to cut a border around the outside of this potato. It's really noisy at the bakery today, so I'm hoping this video actually works because they're doing road work apparently. Okay. So then I'm going to pick the potato up in my hand, and I'm going to fold those fondant folds under, just like that. Pull it out a bit, just to make sure that it does go under. Make sure that it's a potato shape. I'm going to put that back on the plate and do the other ones. Okay, my potatoes are all done. The next step is that I want to give them a little bit of a texture. So I'm taking a tool like this. These are called sugar shapers. They're awesome. And I'm going to add little eyes. All those little potato eyes that you see on your potato. So I'm just doing random little dots. Don't forget to do underneath, around the corner, like around the sides. Bigger ones, smaller ones. Like that. I'm going to do that to all of them. Okay, so there's a few different ways to make these potatoes actually look like potatoes while I struggle to put my glove on. I don't want stained hands, so I'm using gloves. So I'm using just your basic food colorings. I've got some yellow. I'm going to put it on my little paint easel. I've got brown. And then I've got some white. They also have a paintbrush with a little bit of water. You can use an alcohol-based substance as well. It's up to you. So the first way I'm going to do it is I'm going to dip my paintbrush into a little bit of water, and then I'm just going to go around and fill up these eyes. If you notice on a potato, the eyes are slightly darker. Now it doesn't have to be pretty, and I'll show you why in a second. Okay, so I think that's most of them. Okay, now with my sponge, I'm going to wet it slightly And I'm going to start to dab it to try and take away any of that extra paint that's around the outside. Doesn't matter too much, it's a potato. It's going to be fine. Like I said, you can use an alcohol substance as well. It will help it dry faster. But for today, I'm just using water. Starting to look like potato. Okay, that's my first bit. Now what I'm going to actually do is I'm going to get my colors, a little bit of yellow, a little bit of brown, and a little bit of white. And I'm going to start to dab those on top. Now using this method, it makes the potato skin look like a potato skin. It gives it all those different layers of colors. So I dab some on and then I take it off. And I dab some on and then I take it off. And then I'm going to do that again and again with all the different darker shades around the outside of my potato. I love doing stuff like this because it's so fun and artistic, and you can see I've got a potato. Look how cool that looks. It actually looks like a potato. So another way you can do this is you can airbrush, but honestly, this has looked really cool. So I think we're just going to stick with this today. So don't forget to give your potatoes some little dark spots. You know, it's always good to have like a reference picture out just in case. So, or like you could just have a reference potato in front of you. So I have my awesome potatoes. Last thing to do, let's make them look like they came from the ground. So in my hand, I'm going to put my Oreos. I'm going to pick up my potato, and I'm just going to make it look like they've literally been pulled out of the earth. I also like to do this because it covers the bottom and where any fondant has heaped up. And then if you just see if any little bits, that's where you just add your little finishing touches. Realize I've lost some of the eyes on this, so I want to make sure I get my eyes back. That they're really standing out. And there you have it. An awesome potato for St. Patrick's Day. But one you don't have to boil and peel and mash and fry, or however you like your potatoes. This is how I like mine. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, make sure you like, hit the subscribe button, and come back each month for more awesome content from me, Holly, at Punko Pastries. Have a good one, guys.